Throughout the annals of history, the idea of making a pact with the devil has haunted humanity's imagination. Whether whispered in ancient taverns, scrawled in forbidden manuscripts, or depicted in grim works of art, the concept remains both horrifying and irresistibly captivating. But what does it truly mean to sell your soul? Where did this notion originate? And what are the real-life cases of individuals who allegedly entered into such dark contracts? This is the story of ambition, temptation, and the terrifying price that comes with striking a deal with darkness. The origins of the deal with the devil are older than Christianity itself. In pre-Christian traditions, making a pact with a spirit or deity in exchange for power, fertility, or victory was commonplace. Yet, as Christianity spread, these ancient beliefs were reframed. Gods and spirits of old religions were rebranded as demons, and the archetype of Satan emerged as the singular figure embodying evil and temptation. The Bible laid the foundation for this idea. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus is tempted by the devil in the wilderness. Satan offers him all the kingdoms of the world in exchange for worship. Christ refuses, but the message is clear. The devil offers power at a great cost. The notion of bartering one's soul solidified in medieval Europe, a time steeped in superstition and religious fear. It was during this era that the concept of diabolical pacts took its most terrifying form. A binding agreement in which a human willingly surrenders their eternal soul in exchange for earthly benefits. And perhaps no figure embodies this myth more than Dr. Faustus. Faust is the most iconic literary and folkloric example of a man who sold his soul. Based on a real person, Johann Georg Faust, a German alchemist and magician of the early 16th century, the legend tells of a man frustrated with the limits of human knowledge. He summons a demon, Mephistopheles, and strikes a deal. 24 years of unlimited knowledge and pleasure in exchange for his soul. For a time, Faust enjoys his power. He travels the world, performs miracles, and seduces noblewomen. But as the years slip by, the looming end becomes unbearable. When the time comes to pay the price, Faust begs for mercy. None comes. He is dragged to hell, a fate sealed by his own hand. The story has been retold countless times. In plays, operas, novels, and films, each version, a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition and the ultimate cost of playing with fire. But Faust was not alone. In the realm of music, the devil's fingerprints can be found across centuries. Perhaps the most infamous case is that of Niccolò Paganini, the 19th century Italian violinist whose skill defied logic. Audiences were both mesmerized and terrified. His fingers moved faster than the eye could follow, and his melodies carried an eerie, almost supernatural beauty. Rumors spread like wildfire. Had Paganini made a pact with the devil? His appearance did little to calm the speculation. With sunken cheeks, pale skin, and long skeletal fingers, Paganini looked like a man possessed. Whispers grew so intense that, after his death, the church refused to bury him in consecrated ground. For years, his body was denied rest, as if even in death, he remained in the devil's grip. And then there's Giuseppe Tardini, another violinist who claimed that the devil inspired his greatest work. Tardini once confessed that he dreamed the devil appeared to him, played the violin with terrifying beauty, and taught him a piece of music. When he awoke, Tardini tried to recreate it. The result was the Devil's Trill Sonata, one of the most difficult compositions ever written. Yet Tardini himself admitted it was but a shadow of the music he heard in his dream. This theme of supernatural inspiration continued into the 20th century. Robert Johnson, the American blues musician, is another figure wrapped in infernal legend. According to folklore, Johnson met the devil at a crossroads in Mississippi and exchanged his soul for mastery of the guitar. Before the alleged pact, Johnson was a mediocre musician. Afterward, he could play like no other. His lyrics hinted at his torment, with songs like Me and the Devil Blues and Hellhound on My Trail. He died at the age of 27 under mysterious circumstances, adding to the myth that he had paid the ultimate price. But the legend of selling one's soul is not confined to musicians or scholars. During the height of Europe's witch hunts in the 15th to 17th centuries, Thousands of people, mostly women, were accused of making pacts with the devil. The signs were often absurd. A birthmark, a stray cat, or simply being disliked by neighbors. Under torture, many confessed to impossible deeds, flying on broomsticks, attending infernal Sabbaths, and signing the devil's book in their own blood. One chilling case is that of Urbain Grandier, a French priest accused of witchcraft in the early 1600s. He was said to have seduced nuns through demonic means. During his trial, a supposed contract with Satan was presented, written in Latin and signed by Grandier and various demons. Despite its questionable authenticity, Grandier was found guilty, tortured, and burned alive. Even the church couldn't escape these fears. The Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible, is a massive 13th century manuscript that contains a full-page illustration of Satan. Legend says it was written in a single night by a monk who had sold his soul to complete the task. Whether truth or myth, the book remains a symbol of forbidden knowledge and dark bargains. But why has the idea of pacts with the devil endured for so long? Partly, it's because it offers a narrative for things we cannot explain. A sudden rise to fame, inexplicable genius, unnatural charisma. When someone defies the expected path, the mind searches for an answer. And what could be more dramatic than a deal with the devil? There's also a deeper psychological layer. The pact represents the eternal struggle between desire and morality. How far are we willing to go to get what we want? What would we sacrifice for success, love, or power? In this way, the devil is not just a supernatural being, it is the embodiment of temptation itself. The concept of the deal has also evolved with the times. In the 20th century, tales of Faustian bargains moved into new territories. Hollywood, politics, science. Characters in movies and books strike deals not just with Satan, but with corporations, governments, or even alien entities. The idea remains the same. Gain something you desire, pay a price you didn't anticipate. In modern culture, the phrase selling your soul is often metaphorical. It might describe a musician who abandons their roots for fame, a politician who compromises their values for power, or a worker who sacrifices personal joy for career success. These modern pacts may not involve flames and horns, but the spiritual cost can be just as devastating. Yet, despite all the warnings, the myth endures. Perhaps it always will, because the devil's offer is seductive. Skip the struggle, bypass the pain, and receive greatness now. The cost? Just your soul, something you can't touch or see, but something that defines who you are. And so the stories continue. In dimly lit rooms, people whisper about crossroads and shadowy figures. In old libraries, dusty books speak of forbidden knowledge. And in our hearts, the question remains, what would I trade for everything I ever wanted? Maybe the answer lies not in the stories, but in how they make us feel. The tale of the man who gave up his soul forces us to reflect on our own values. It asks, what is truly worth sacrificing? Is success without struggle still meaningful? Is knowledge without wisdom truly a gift? In the end, the most terrifying part of a pact with the devil is not the devil himself. It is the mirror he holds up to us. So the next time you hear a story of a soul sold for fame, talent, or love, remember, these tales are not just about demons and contracts. They are about us, our hopes, our fears, and the dark corners of the human soul. Because sometimes the greatest evil is not the devil who tempts, but the part of ourselves that listens.